I forgot to mention that my dad is a retired federal judge, I replied, nervously running my sweaty palms over my black joggers. You left out the part where you should have warned me that the Harts live in a fortress, he teased, though there was a hint of awe in his voice. Still, Roman navigated the gravel driveway with an air of confidence, as if he owned the place. The welcoming committee was already gathered at the front entrance, waiting for us with expectant smiles. My mom, my older sister Alyssa, a few aunts, my cousin Lizzie from Florida, and my little niece Chloe, dressed in head-to-toe white. And worst of all, Dean fucking Archer. Here we go, I murmured under my breath, the words barely escaping my lips as a mix of excitement and dread churned in my stomach. Roman turned off the engine, the car falling silent, and then he faced me, his eyes filled with an intensity that made my heart race. You ready? He asked, his voice steady but laced with an undercurrent of concern. No, I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. He reached across the seat, his hand enveloping mine with a warmth that felt like a lifeline. It was tight, grounding, and in that moment I felt a flicker of reassurance. You're not alone, he said softly, his gaze unwavering. With a deft motion, he slipped something onto my finger, and I stared down in disbelief. An engagement ring. A magnificent engagement ring, adorned with a massive blue stone that sparkled even in the dim light of the car. I glanced up at him, and there it was, the familiar, cocky grin that made my heart flutter. You forgot that crucial part of the story, he teased, his confidence radiating. I was momentarily entranced by the beauty of the ring, which felt cold against my warm skin. Holy shit, where'd you get this? I exclaimed, my voice a mix of shock and awe as I frantically scanned the car for a box, but found none. Doesn't matter, he replied, his tone shifting to seriousness. What's important is we nail this and get back to Philly as soon as possible. Understood. My throat tightened, a lump forming as I nodded once, the weight of the moment sinking in. We stepped out together, the cool air hitting my face as I tried to shake off the lingering shock of the ring. Roman moved to my side, placing a reassuring hand on my back, guiding me forward with the confidence of someone who had done this 1,000 times before. His sunglasses were perched atop his head, and his trademark smirk was firmly in place. As we approached the gathering, a collective gasp filled the air, followed by a chorus of excited voices. Alyssa squealed, God, he's hot. Lizzie chimed in, he looks like a young Brendan Fraser. Aunt Janice, ever the dramatic one, whispered, Lord have mercy. My mother blinked in surprise, her eyes wide. He's taller than I expected. Chloe stood frozen, her jaw slack as the color drained from her face. It was as if she had seen a ghost. Roman remained by my side as I exchanged hugs and kisses with everyone I hadn't seen since last year. Hi, everyone, I said sweetly, trying to project confidence. This is Roman Blackwood, my fiancé. Roman extended his hand to my mother, his demeanor respectful. It's so good to finally meet you, ma'am. My mother's reaction was almost comical. She looked flustered, her cheeks turning a shade of pink. Please call me Flora, she said, her voice slightly shaky. Chloe stepped forward, her voice strained with disbelief. You didn't say he was him. Roman tilted his head, a playful glint in his eyes. She didn't say you were this blonde. The silence that followed was deafening. What was happening here? Was I missing some unspoken tension? Dean cleared his throat, hands shoved deep in his pockets as he stepped forward. It's good to see you again, Sav, he said before pulling me into an unexpected hug, his warmth momentarily easing my nerves. I broke free and took a few steps back, positioning myself beside Roman. Likewise, I replied, trying to maintain a casual demeanor. Dean's brown eyes flickered between Roman and me before he extended his hand toward Roman, puffing out his chest slightly as if preparing for a challenge. Dean Archer, it's good to finally meet you. In the flesh. He smirked, clearly trying to assert some sort of dominance. Roman's response was swift, wiping the cocky smirk off Dean's face in an instant. "You're a lot smaller than I imagined," he said, narrowing his eyes as if sizing him up like a specimen under a microscope. Alyssa burst into laughter, clearly entertained by the exchange, before she pulled Roman into a warm embrace. "Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm Savannah's older sister," she introduced herself, pointing to little Emily, who was still standing beside our mother. "And that's my daughter, Emily." Roman smiled a genuine, heartfelt smile. "It's good to finally meet you, Alyssa. You're a lot prettier in person. Sav has told me a lot of good things about you." Alyssa blushed, clearly flattered by his compliment. He waved at a shy Emily. "Hi, Emily." Roman seamlessly transitioned into small talk with my aunts and relatives, and so far, he was doing remarkably well. He appeared relaxed and convincing, as if he belonged here. Chloe, however, stood off to the side with her arms folded, her lips twisted in a frown. What was her problem? "Come, Roman. My husband's been dying to meet you," my mother said, practically dragging him inside, leaving me with Alyssa, Chloe, and Dean. "I'll help you bring in your luggage," Dean offered, stepping forward. "No, thanks. I can manage," I replied, trying to assert my independence. Chloe interjected. "I'll help you. Alyssa's too lazy to help anyway." Alyssa laughed in response, clearly amused by Chloe's jab. Chloe stomped over to the trunk of the car, but instead of pulling out our suitcases, she grabbed my hand, the one adorned with the engagement ring. She stared at it, her mouth agape. "How the hell do you get a bigger ring compared to mine?" she whined, disbelief etched on her face. "Are you being serious, Chloe?" I asked, half amused, half annoyed. "Like hell I am. You shouldn't have a bigger ring than the bride." She stomped her foot in frustration. Dean stepped in, trying to defuse the situation. "Baby, it's not that serious. It's the thought that counts." He leaned in and placed a gentle kiss on her lips, his eyes flickering to me for a moment. I quickly looked away, not wanting to engage in this ridiculous sibling rivalry. "I don't care, it's a disaster. Sav doesn't even know the first thing about rings, and yet she got the biggest one. Do something, Dean." Chloe's face was as red as a beet, and she looked like she might cry at any moment. "Oh boy, I thought we were past this point," Alyssa whispered, her eyes wide with concern. "All right, if you want a bigger ring, then that's what you'll get. Give me a moment to speak with my jeweler and we'll figure something out." Dean tried to appease her, his tone calm and reassuring. Chloe bobbed her head up and down like a child, her excitement palpable. Dean pulled out his phone and stepped away, no doubt to call the jeweler. "You're not 16 anymore, Chloe. We shouldn't be fighting over ring sizes," I said, trying to inject some reason into the chaos. Her nostrils flared, and she shot me a glare. Still as conceited as always, Sav. "Chloe, enough," Alyssa chided her gently. "Help her get the bags out of the trunk." "Don't worry, I've got it," Roman said, appearing out of nowhere, his presence a welcome distraction. I smiled and stepped back as he effortlessly pulled the heavy bags out of the trunk, showcasing his strength. As Roman grabbed our bags, Chloe leaned in closer and hissed in my ear, "You're seriously bringing him to my wedding." I smiled, perhaps a bit too brightly. "You brought Dean." "He's my husband, duh." "That makes two of us then," I shot back, a playful glint in my eyes. I followed Roman inside, hand in hand, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. Nothing much had changed around here, except for the fact that 100 fashion magazines were scattered across the living room, all dedicated to wedding dresses. "Where's Dad?" I asked my mother, searching for familiar comfort. "He's in a Zoom meeting right now, but I'll let you know when it's over," she replied, her voice filled with a hint of distraction. "Okay, Mom," I said, trying to mask my disappointment. Chloe and her husband entered the room. looking like a crime version of Ken and Barbie, and a smile instantly appeared on my face. "Chloe, I got you a little pre-wedding present," I said, my excitement bubbling over. "Initially, I was confused about what to get you since you basically have everything." I grinned wickedly, savoring the moment. Then I thought of something perfect. Roman chuckled, clearly entertained by my enthusiasm. Chloe's brows knitted together in confusion. "What's that?" she asked, her uncertainty evident. "Hold on, let me fetch it right away," I said, my heart racing. In the middle of the living room, surrounded by my extended family, I unzipped my suitcase and retrieved the wedding present of the century, wrapped in an elegant black box that gleamed under the light. I extended my hand, and Chloe took the box, her earlier hesitation fading. Thanks. I didn't think of getting you anything," she said absent-mindedly, lowering herself to the height of the cherry wood table. Roman shot me a knowing glance, already aware of what was inside the box. I tried to stifle my laughter as she eagerly tore the box open, starting a mental countdown until chaos erupted. 3, 2, 1. "What the hell, Savannah?" she exclaimed, her voice a mix of shock and indignation. "For heaven's sake, there's a child right here," Mom exclaimed, her voice rising in panic as she quickly shielded Emily's eyes and ears with her hands. "Put that thing away right now." "Oh, this is rich," Alyssa cackled, her laughter echoing through the room. "Why is it all sticky, Sav?" "It's cherry-flavored," I declared cheerfully, lifting the bottle high above my head like a prize trophy. "You're welcome, Chloe." Chloe's nostrils flared, her eyes narrowing dangerously as if she were about to unleash a torrent of fury. "Are you actually serious right now?" "Don't you like it, Chloe?" I pouted, trying to feign innocence. "I thought it was a thoughtful gift." Her cheeks flushed a vivid crimson, and I half expected smoke to start billowing from her ears any second. "You thought this was thoughtful?" she hissed, brandishing the Bible, the lubricant, and the card as if they were damning evidence in a courtroom. "A Bible and a damn-flavored lube wrapped together with a note that says, for marriage and morals, balance is key. Savannah, are you out of your mind?" "Language, Chloe. There's a child present," Mom interjected sharply, her voice laced with authority. Chloe dropped the box as if it had just caught fire, her expression a mix of disbelief and outrage. "I don't care, Mom. She started it." "Don't you dare use that kind of language with me, young lady," Mom scolded, her tone firm and unyielding. Little Emily, ever the curious one, was straining to peek through Mom's fingers, her wide eyes filled with innocent wonder. "So what? Savannah's not going to get in trouble for this ridiculous box, is that the deal? I swear, Dad will hear about this," Chloe fumed, her voice rising in indignation. "What's wrong with it? It's just a joke," I insisted, my defiance bubbling to the surface. Roman, who had been standing beside me, let out a snort of laughter, unable to contain himself. I elbowed him lightly, but he was too caught up in the moment to notice. "Oh, how I've missed you, Sav," Alyssa said, tossing her hair over her shoulder with a playful grin. "This takes me back to the chaotic old days." Chloe's nostrils flared again, her irritation palpable. "Can you just shut up for once, Alyssa? You're driving me insane." Mom groaned, sinking into a nearby chair as if the weight of the world had just landed on her shoulders. She continued to shield Emily's ears and eyes, looking like she was about to faint from the sheer embarrassment. "You're going to hell, Savannah." "Okay, but at least I'll be moisturized," I shot back cheekily, a smirk dancing on my lips. Roman burst into full-blown laughter now, and Alyssa raised her soda can in a mock toast, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Chloe, on the other hand, looked like she was seconds away from committing sororicide. And then, as if summoned by the chaos, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. "Wherever there's trouble," a deep, commanding voice rumbled from behind us, "there's Savannah Marjorie Hart." The laughter evaporated instantly, as if someone had flicked a switch. My spine stiffened, and I didn't even need to turn around to know who had just entered the room. "Dad,